Now, I haven't seen She-Ra yet. I don't know if I ever am going to. I've got a very busy fucking schedule, okay? I don't have a lot of time to watch random shit. But I've heard that She-Ra, Netflix's She-Ra reboot, is rather based. A lot of gayness in it, a lot of SJW shit, and I love me some SJW shit, so I'm pretty happy. And it's really upset the reactionaries. And one specific reactionary that goes by the name of Billy D and owns a website called One Angry Gamer, specifically, is particularly mad about it. Now, One Angry Gamer, I guess is like the title of his website, or I should say Billy D, but we'll call him One Angry Gamer from now on, is a Nazi. The guy has talked about the Jewish question and race realism and whatnot, and he's also talked about degenerate art. So let's talk. This is basically what every reactionary YouTuber talks about. Degenerate art, or in German, Entarrte Kunst, don't know German, so that's probably butchered, was a term adopted in the 1920s by the Nazi Party in Germany to describe modern art. During the dictatorship of Adolf Hitler, German modernist art, including many works of internationally renowned artists, was removed from state-owned museums and banned in Nazi Germany on the grounds that that the art was an insult to German feeling, un-German, Jewish, or communist in nature. Those identified as degenerate artists were subjected to sanctions that included being dismissed from teaching positions, being forbidden to exhibit or to sell their art, in some cases being forbidden to produce art. So this is basically like the dream of the reactionary who's like triggered by gay people appearing in like art and whatnot. So this guy is a Nazi, and what he's arguing is basically that like things like She-Ra are degenerate art. Now, I would like to point out that to argue that this guy like hates degeneracy is actually hilarious, because this dude's website is just filled with like blatant objectification of women, right? Like every single like sidebar is like women doing scant cosplay that's just barely like not TOS for YouTube, like literal like boob mouse pads and shit like that. Like this dude's pretty fucking like slimy with his misogyny, but hey, let's get into it. I'm kind of mad that he has like a background of Mad Max and like Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain for his like website background. Kind of upsets me, but not much I can do about that. So let's read. Also, reactionaries hate modern / non-representational / abstract art. Yeah, I mean, who would have thought? Reactionaries, like your average YouTube, like the quartering style reactionary, and literal Nazis have a lot in common. Who would have thought? All right, let's watch. I warned you all. Oh, we have to read in like a really dramatic voice, of course, and try not to coom looking at this lady. I warned you all before, and now Netflix and DreamWorks went and did it. Yet another classic heroine turned gay. This time it's Adora, better known as She-Ra. In the final season of the Netflix show, Catra and She-Ra were turned into full-blown lesbians and forced by the creators to profess their love for one another. Forced by the creators? You do realize that these characters, like, don't exist, right? Like, these are fictional characters, and they do whatever the writers write them to doing. Like wait, they aren't real people being forced into doing something. They weren't turned gay, they were written that way. Homie, what? I'm gonna say homie what even more, just to piss off Afro Lefty. As well as share an intimate kiss in order to save the universe. The She-Ra you loved and grew up with is no more. She's dead and gone. You guys realize that, like... You guys realize you can literally, like, go and watch the original She-Ra, right? I'm pretty sure it's on Netflix as well. Like, this doesn't negate the existence of the old She-Ra if you're really, like, this homophobic. Also, I'm going to point this out right now. No one will ever beat this. This is the best lesbian kiss in media ever. This is the best one, and no one can deny this. As disappointing as the finale of Adventure Time was, this is the best one.
I know, Girl, you phrased that so weird.
This is the best one.
I might have a concussion.
You love to see it. That's the best one. That's the best one. I don't care how good She-Ra is, won't beat that. I'm sorry, I grew up with Adventure Time. I knew they were gay the whole time I was growing up, and when I saw that, I was like, finally! Alright. She-Ra is now canonically a lesbian. Well, she might be bi. I knew it the moment they announced the show, and they would probably turn She-Ra into a lesbian. Like, just like the Netflix turned the leader of Voltron into a homosexual, and made Alucard have a steamy gay anal sex in Netflix's 3rd season of Castlevania. Alucard had steamy gay anal sex? Hey, alright, based. In this case, the lesbian fanfiction was brought to life by showrunner Noelle Stevenson in the much maligned Save Among the Rainbow Reich. The Rainbow Reich? Homie, what? Reboot of the classic 1980s kids show. Netflix already admitted to pushing the gay agenda. Yeah. I love the gay agenda. The gay agenda is based. I would rather there be a gay agenda than anti-gay agenda. Also, to like say that this is like pushing a gay agenda is fucking hilarious. Every damn new Netflix series, and it's like Patrick shoving a pumpkin into SpongeBob's mouth, and it's like a random gay character, and then Netflix quote tweeted and said, "Sorry, you have yet to realize that every gay person is very necessary," or that you have yet to realize. It was like some argument that was like, "I'm sorry that every single." I've already seen it, Cindy. It's a good meme. Xander Hall out of context. This account needs to upload more shit, but it's pretty good. Here, this is pretty good. For one, we say the N-word and not the C-word. Well, what? Well, for one, I love that I have my own out-of-context account now. Like, no, this statement is, like, inarguably true. Like, if you're whining about there being a gay character, like, there has to be a reason for a gay character to exist, you're a fucking idiot, dude. Like, holy shit. Why does there have to be a reason for straight people to exist? Like, the argument here is you see gay people as being weird, or there has to be a reason for a gay person to exist. Like, if there's gonna be a gay person, there better be a damn good reason for it. Like, okay. Netflix already existed to pushing the gay agenda, and a bunch of mega corporations joined in to support them, including Amazon. We've always warned you that they were coming for your kids. They want to include your children with the gay agenda, so it's easier for them to physically groom your younglings once the bunghole Bolsheviks normalize maps and then legalize pedophilia. Holy shit! Okay, we got a lot to take apart here. I will be honest, though, bunghole Bolsheviks is a pretty good twisting of words. It is kind of funny. I will say, hey, you are a Nazi piece of shit, but bunghole Bolsheviks is actually a label that gay leftists need to actually, like, full-on appropriate, because that is actually fucking amazing. Okay. So, there's nothing overtly sexual about sexuality. Most kids have their first crush when they're like 5 or 6. How many of you here who are like not asexual had their first crush before you turned 10? Hypers if you had your first little crush when you first were like first 10, like before you were 10. Alright. Now maybe my fans are all just a bunch of like degenerate coomers, but I'm pretty sure most kids know what sexuality is, just like most kids know what gender is. You're not, like, destroying kids' innocence by showing a kiss. Like, what if they were straight? Would it be an issue if these characters... Well, I don't want copyright. Would it be, like, an issue? I haven't seen this yet, so spoilers, but... Would it be, like, an issue if they were straight? Some good animation. Aw. Look at the gay. Look, gay is happening. Gay! 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 That's pretty fucking gay. I'm gonna be honest with you there. That's pretty fucking gay. Love it. Yeah, like, if it was like a dude and a girl, would that be like ruining, would that not be ruining kids? Like, would that not be ruining kids' innocence? Unfortunately, a lot of people are idiots and centrists, trademark. Hey, listen, I hate centrists too, buddy, but I'd rather people be centrists than Nazis. So, unfortunately, a lot of people are idiots and centrists dominate social media, where they constantly claim that there is no left-wing agenda, and that there is no propaganda being peddled in the mainstream brands, ads, television, streaming, video games, or cartoons. Okay, so, left-wing agenda. So, corporations capitulate to like what is acceptable at the time, right? Like if it is if it is like actually somewhat profitable for a corporation to market to gay people, they'll change their logo to like a rainbow flag. And that is the only scenario where they'll do that. Like, no corporation is going to sacrifice profit to push a progressive agenda that isn't already mostly accepted by society. As for, like, individual games and whatnot, like, developers choose to include gay people, like with The Last of Us. The individual developers are, like, saying, yeah, we want to have, like, gay characters and whatnot. And that's just a matter of you, like, being anti-freedom. Like, if you're just anti-freedom, then there's not much I can do for you. You're just opposed to the idea of, like, freedom in art. Well, Netflix and Noelle Stevenson weren't afraid to slap viewers in the face with the cuckold commissar's schlong of degeneracy, and they did so brazenly. You can see the scene below, courtesy of YouTube, I don't know what this YouTuber's name is. Yes, they're turning all cartoon characters gay. They can't just stay in their own lane. They have to take established characters and force them to munch carpet, to pack fudge, to flap the flops, or tingle the dingles. I'm sorry. I'm almost, like, convinced that, like, this dude isn't real. Like, I'm almost convinced that this dude is, like, a fucking, like, a satire account. Because this dude's so fucking stupid. And he makes such a joke of himself. I'm almost, like... I'm almost unsure whether or not I believe that this is real. This is just so out there. It's crazy. I think we probably read enough, right? Do we want to read a little bit more? Because I don't know if I want to... Nah, we'll read the rest. The rest of this is all just, like, ads and shit like that, so we'll read the entirety of this. This is yet another childhood heroine purposefully turned to push an agenda. Centrists will retort, but there is no agenda, and yet Stevenson even admits to an agenda in the interview with the LA Times, something centrists will have to conveniently ignore in order to maintain the facade of actually pretending to be moderate. Stevenson told the LA Times, let's see how, like, reasonable this post is. This is not going to be the norm forever, but right now, there are two facets of representation. One of them is visibility, and having it be incidental to the story, like having Bo's dad not be a big deal. That's a very, very important version of representation, seeing those characters exist and lead normal lives and be a normal part of the world. Holy shit! I don't miss. That is the most reasonable statement you could make, or argument you could make in favor of, like, gay representation ever. Just, like, yeah, I mean, gay people exist in the real world. There's no, like, reason that we don't have to make, like, a reason for them to exist, right? Like, they can just exist and live normal lives, right? Like, okay. He's so mad. He's so triggered. Wrong. LGBTQIA+ relationships are anything but normal. They are the very definition of abnormal, which means departing from the normal. Gays and lesbians cannot procreate with one another. If they were normal and made up a majority of the population, the human race would cease to exist. No one's making an argument that gay people should make up a majority of the population. We're only arguing that the gay people that exist should be accepted.
I got mine as a gift, so I will share the love. White name genocide.
Yeah, white name genocide. Thanks for the tier 1 gifted sub, Femboy Ancom. I appreciate it, buddy. Very appreciated. I love you, buddy. Like, no one's arguing to make everybody gay and make the human race, like, go extinct. It's just if you're gay and you exist now, we should be accepting of that. There's nothing wrong with art, like, with being gay. Worse yet is that they're being forced into mainstream media while classic characters, lol, are being subverted across the LGBTQIA+ spectrum by leftists wait, okay. I'm gonna say right now, like, most of these, like, artists aren't leftists. They're just, like, liberals, like, progressives, okay? If you aren't opposed to capitalism, then you're a liberal, not a leftist. Leftists meeting out their agenda in order to force feed the lifestyle into the public's perception as normal. Okay, literally, there's no evidence to support the idea that being gay is a lifestyle. It's literally, you're born gay. Like, you're just anti-science if you think being gay is a lifestyle. What they won't do is ever portray the realities of the homosexual lifestyle. Not a lifestyle, this has been debunked by science. Gays and lesbians are only 1.6% of the population, but gays account for 67% of all HIV cases. Is that like an argument against representation in media? Of course gay people are going to represent a higher proportion of HIV, because if you're having anal sex, you have a higher chance of like breaking the skin and having blood contact, and that's how HIV spreads. Gays have a higher rate of substance and drug abuse. I don't believe this is actually true. But even if it is, this is irrelevant. Gays just like to have fun. Don't know what to say. If you're gay and you like to fucking smoke that dank gang weed, there's nothing wrong with it. Lesbians have double rates of domestic abuse. I don't think that's true. I think that's a stat that's being way taken out of proportion. Gays statistically have far more sexual partners than heterosexuals. Okay, based? Yeah, okay. Gays have higher than normal STD rates. Well, that's just repeating the first one. Gays have higher than normal suicide rates. I wonder why! Instead, they'll continue to brainwash people into thinking that a tiny minority of people need to be overrepresented in media, and they'll continue to be overrepresented because that's GLAAD's goal? Excuse me? American non-governmental monitor LGBT media. Oh, so it's basically like an incentive for like media to include gay people. Okay. GLAAD wants 20% of all on-screen media characters to be gay by 2025. Based. There will be more gays on television than Asians or Native Americans. How sick is that? Even worse than that, they're aiming a lot of this content at kids, teaching kids that it's okay to be gay. Is it not okay to be gay? I think it's okay to be gay. Or is it okay? Yeah, no, based. It's okay to be gay. Kids should know that. They're forcing kids to learn that LGBTQIA+ lifestyles in the classroom. Yes, kids are forced by a public school mandate to learn about degeneracy, as detailed in the May 3rd, 2019 report by Reuters. Okay. It's only ever indoctrination or an agenda if you disagree with it. Oh! Here's the Nazi shit. A Jewish school even threatened to have funding pulled if they didn't add LGBTQIA curriculum to the itinerary, as reported by Pink News. This is also being blocked up by the United Nations, or backed up by the United Nations, an organization known for raping kids? What? The United Nations rape kids. They've been raping kids around the world for years. Multiple cases of child sex abuse were uncovered for the past 15 years, and were more than 1,000... What? How much do you want to bet this guy would defend? I'm not going to read this whole article about the United Nations apparently, like, raping kids. Pretty sure it's some Nazi shit about the Jews or something. But, bro, if you have an issue with, organizations covering up the raping of kids... Yeah, he cites himself. That's all. He'll only ever cite himself. Then you should have an issue with the fucking Catholic Church, bud. Who have been pushing to teach toddlers how to masturbate, as reported by Fox News? Hold on, let's see this. Wait, it's literally just sex ed saying, yeah, you should probably know what the parts of your body are when you're younger. And, like, know what masturbation is. No one's teaching someone how to masturbate. What the fuck? Why are these people such liars? The fuck? Centrists and SJWs don't have an argument against these facts. Facts, lol. They deflect with sophistry, such as it's necessary for marginalized people to be represented, or representation isn't propaganda, even though overrepresentation deliberately made to push a specific message using iconic comic books, cartoons, and childhood heroes is the very definition of propaganda. Okay, propaganda is not inherently good or bad. It's when propaganda is used in a bad way that it's bad. There's positive propaganda. What I do is propaganda. What the Nazis did was also propaganda, but one of them is good and one of them is bad. That's what it is. You'll be banned, silenced, suppressed, or deplatformed if you speak out against it. This is the new normal. Where media will continuously push anti-white, anti-heterosexual messaging. Normies will continue to ignore it. Centrists will continue to defend it. And SJWs will continue to push it up until pedophilia gets legalized. Okay. That's the end of the article. Literally, there's like a massive push within the LGBT community to like exclude like maps and shit from the fucking group. Holy shit. Oh my god. Reading that in that voice is like fucked up my voice. Holy fuck. Oh my god. Holy shit. I'm almost out of breath from like the stupidity that was hitting me there. Holy fuck. Holy shit. God damn. Well, one angry gamer is definitely a Nazi arguing against degenerate propaganda. You hate to see it. This dude's like an actual Nazi though. Like this is literally like word for word like Nazi propaganda, like against degenerate art. Whew. Tough scene.